Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Should you sign up for any of the tour packages that are offered by so many travel agents and hotels? There is so much information online and in books these days that are available that it is possible to plan one's trip just using those resources. If you have time and the effort and the energy to do that and pick out the places that you want to see, you can do that. I generally go off on my own and immerse myself in cultures. I often miss historical places and other places of interest that I just don't have time or haven't researched enough to find out where they're at. The one really good reason to use a tour package is that well, number one, they offer many different types of tours, small tours or much larger tours, and they can often plan and fit a lot more into a day or a few days or a week than what you're probably going to fit in yourself. Going off on your own can be a bit challenging, overwhelming at times, especially if you're in a country where you don't understand the language and the customs. It can be a bit dangerous if you don't know the area and things to watch out for. It can also be a great challenge and adventure if you're up to the task, and this is the type of thing that I tend to lean towards myself, just going off and taking more time and enjoying life, enjoy being wherever I'm at. But there are advantages to getting involved with a tour group. One of the big advantages of joining a tour is that they cover a lot more territory. You see a lot more things in the same amount of time because they organize the time. The downside of that is that sometimes you're too limited on the time you want to spend at a particular site. For instance, I live in Cebu City, Cebu, the Philippines, and there's some tour packages that it's a day package, which means you get up early, you leave by ferry for a 1.5 to 2 hour ferry ride over to Bohol. And once you're on Bohol Island, you're taking a van up to see the Chocolate Hills, the Tarsiers, and probably a couple of other sites, including a beach or two and eating, all inclusive. Then you're getting back on a ferry and coming back to Cebu City all in one day. And the time that you spend at each site, you get off the bus, you climb the stairs or into the forest where the Tarsiers are, and maybe you have 15-20 minutes at each location. And you know, every tour is going to vary depending upon how many things they try to pack into that one day. But you've got about 4 days, or about 4 hours, 4 hours or more involved in just getting to the ferry and the ferry ride back and forth. So that you're trying to, in my opinion, you're trying to pack too much into one day. Now, if you're short on time and you still want to see those types of things, it's a way to do it. If you do that on your own, you really should take a couple of days to do that. And I've had a couple of people ask me about that, and the ones that I've talked to, I think one did end up joining a tour because they were a little short on the number of days they were going to spend. And a couple of other couples just decided to go off on their own, rent a motorbike, take their time, 2, 3, 4 days, and kind of wing it. Another advantage you might find with a group tour is you may save money. Save money because oftentimes they can negotiate lower prices, especially if it's a 2, 3, 4 day type event. They can negotiate lower rates for hotels, for meals along the way, for entrance fees. They oftentimes have group fees. I took a recent tour in Vietnam down the Mekong River. It was a 2-day trip, included a hotel one night, a meal or two every day, and cost me a little over 1 million Vietnamese dong, which is about 45 US dollars for a 2-day tour. Started about 7:30 in the morning, and it was a van trip up about 2 hours to get on boats going down the Mekong River. We saw several different sites along the way, and demonstrations, and visited a couple factories, and got a hotel room. Got up the next morning, went to see the floating market again on the river, and saw a few more sites, and then back to Ho Chi Minh City. 2 very full days for about $45 US. You can find tour packages to go almost anywhere and do almost anything. I've met a couple Australians here in, one lives in Vietnam, one lives in the Philippines, and they took a motorbike tour a number of years ago in Vietnam. I think it was about a 2-week tour, I believe. And I asked them about it, and they told me that it ended up costing them about $80 a day, all inclusive. And I don't know all the details, but they did run the length of Vietnam, visited a lot of the war sites, battle sites, that type of thing, because Australia was involved in the war back in the 60s and 70s. If you're with a tour group, you're probably less likely to have problems with authorities, different regulations. Your tour operators should be able to warn you and educate you on some of that type of thing and pay the way forward. If you decide to go off on your own, you can move more at your own pace. I do like that because sometimes the itinerary gets a little crowded, gets a little too hurried. You don't have time really to enjoy and experience the life in the area that you're in. So take those things into consideration. Also, try to check out the reputability of the tour company that you're going to use. And I used a travel agent to set up a tour going up into Dalat, up into the mountains of Vietnam. And we were told that our guide was English speaking. Well, it turned out that he knew at least 2 or 3 English words, but he mostly spoke Vietnamese and Chinese. Tours are going to vary greatly as far as knowledge and competence and how well they're organized and how well they're run. There's always that chance that you're going to have issues with transportation. I've seen big tour buses shut down halfway up a mountain, in which case that obviously is going to change the plans for the tour, and they're going to have to wait for another bus to come and pick them up. One tour I was on in Vietnam offered a homestay, so you could stay at the home of a local Vietnamese family and partake in their meal and sleep in the Vietnamese house, those types of things. So there are a lot of options once you start looking. Ask the travel agent. There also oftentimes you'll find that that you have more local people that are really familiar, who have grown up in the areas, giving you the tour as you go into each area. I tend to be an independent type person that likes to get off the beaten track and go at my own pace. And I'm more patient, I guess, and I like photography, so I can sit for hours to wait for the right scene, the right picture, or the right animal to come by, just whatever I'm looking for at the time. I like the freedom of that. But I must say, in the last few months, I have come to appreciate organized tours, because there's no way I would have found myself going down the Mekong River and experiencing so much there, going up into the mountains by myself. I could have rented a motorbike and driven up there, but once up there, I probably wouldn't have seen the things and experienced the things that I did, that I experienced by being on an organized tour. And so consider those. It really comes down to who you are, what you want, what kind of money you have to spend, and probably most important, what type of time that you have. If you're on a very tight schedule, but you want to see a lot, the tour might be the right solution for you. If you have more time, It may cost more money. You've got more time. You're not going to get the discounts the tour companies get, and you may or may not see as much. You may want to, like me, get off the beaten track that the tour company isn't going to take you to and experience that. So anyway, consider those things. Thanks for watching. Please like, please share the video, please subscribe. Safe travels to you all wherever you're at, and we'll see you next time.